Every single day, we see dozens, if not hundreds of people that we pass throughout our day that we don't know at all. We know nothing about them, nothing about their story, nothing about their name, where they come from. We know nothing. But have you noticed that sometimes we start assigning characteristics or stories to those people in those couple seconds we see them that are based on absolutely nothing, and that they tend to be negative or leaning negative? For example, sometimes you might see somebody walking along the side of the road and just completely based on maybe what they're wearing or what they look like, your brain starts saying, "Oh, that's not a nice person," or "Oh, they're not safe," or "They're doing something nefarious." Nefarious? Who says nefarious? They're doing something bad. They're up to something no good. I don't like that about me. I don't want to be that guy. I want to default positive about people. I want to tell great stories about people. I want people to do that about me too. Why? Well, I think that the way that we default view people, especially people that we don't know, affects how we carry ourselves throughout our day and how we interact with people. I just think it sets a tone inside of us, and it affects the way that we communicate to other people that they can pick up. And I just don't like that tone that I'm setting inside my mind. I'll give you this morning example. As I was driving from my house to here, there's a new McDonald's that's being built right on the corner, right outside of our neighborhood. And as you can imagine, this morning, the property is just covered with people who are starting to work on the project. And because I was thinking about this topic, I intentionally, when I was driving by, and it couldn't have been, it couldn't even been 10 seconds total that I was driving by, but I was just looking at the people who were walking around, and I saw this lady who was walking across the property, and I intentionally thought, I bet she's hilarious. I bet she would be so much fun to talk to. Saw a guy who was talking and pointing, talking to another guy, maybe giving some instructions. And I intentionally thought, I bet he loves his grandkids and he cannot wait to get to be home with them after work today. It's really simple, but I realized, wow, in those couple seconds that I started telling positive stories about people I don't know to myself, it had a huge effect on the rest of my drive, as silly as that is. I was in a much better mood, more positive in general. And then when I just know that when I go and interact with, when I go through the Chick-fil-A drive-thru this morning to get my biscuit, I can already tell you that my natural state of mind is going to be more friendly and more positive than it would have otherwise been. So my encouragement to you is to start thinking about how you default when you think about people you don't know. And I want to caution you, if your first thought when you hear this from me is pushing back and saying, yeah, but that person's not really nice, or yeah, stop. This is about you and me. This isn't about who they are or who they aren't. It's about our mindset and what stories we choose to tell about people that we don't know. So if you make this about anybody other than yourself, you're missing the point and missing the power of this. So today, when you see somebody you don't know on the street, in the car next to you, at a store, why don't you try telling a really great story about them and see how that affects your heart and your mind and the rest of your day. I think you're going to like it, and I know the people that you interact with are going to like it too.